What is up, you guys? It is Jazz. I am a Bachelor of Science educated registered nurse, and I work in a jail for children, or you could also call me a pediatric correctional nurse. In today's video, I'm pretty much just going to walk you through what a typical day at work for me is like in my role at my jail working in a kids jail. However, I do just want to put out a little disclaimer that the area of correctional nursing is a huge area, and there are lots of different facilities you can work in across the country and lots of different environments and situations. And so what my typical day at work as a correctional nurse is like could be totally different than someone else who is also a correctional nurse. So I work as a night shift nurse at my facility, which is a children's jail. At my particular facility, because it is a smaller facility, at night we only have one nurse / one medical staff on campus working at night. And so since I'm a night nurse, on the nights I'm there, I am that one person. In that aspect, I have a lot of autonomy in my job because if anything happens that's medical related, I'm the one they're calling because I'm the only one there. My shift is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I come in a little bit before 6 p.m. And I check in with the daytime nurse that's still there. During the day, we have multiple nurses, but there's usually only one nurse that sticks around until 6 o'clock when I get there, and I do handoff with that last nurse. They kind of let me know what happened throughout the day, anything important, as well as soon as I come in, I sync my little computer that is my MedPass computer. We call it a POC. So we sync the POC so that our MedPass is ready to go. Our computer is ready to go for MedPass. We do our NARC count, and then I do a sharps count. So all of our sharps, we just kind of have to count that as well as doing our narcotics count. So those three things, as soon as I come in, I go into the medical office, clock in, sync my POC for MedPass, count my narcs and count my sharps, and then do handoff with the morning nurse to just get an update on the day. After that, the big task kind of for the next chunk of time is pulling the meds. So the way our MedPass works, my facility has 8 different housing units. So at night, well, for all of the med passes actually, the nurses go out to the different units to pass the meds. Our patients don't come to us, we go to them. And so I have this big old med cart that I literally push around. Our big med cart that we push around has all of our patient specific medications. So I open drawers and all of my patients' meds are in there, as well as tons of stock meds and just about anything you could think of that you would need in a nurse's med cart to push around. So that includes glucometer, my vital stuff, Gatorade for kids that are, throwing up and nauseous, ice packs, heating packs, just all types of things that you could think of. So then I start pulling the meds. We pull our meds and we pre-pull them and pack them into little envelopes that have the kids' names as well as all of their medications written on it. So then I kind of just pull them by unit. I organize them unit by unit until all of my meds are ready and pulled. And then I'll just make sure that I have everything I need stocked up in my med cart. Just anything I could think of that I might need while I'm out for my med pass, I just make sure everything is stocked up and I have everything I need ready to go before I leave. Then after all the meds are pulled, it's time to go out to actually do the med pass. So I usually head out around 7:15 to start my med pass, and I usually finish around 8:40 to 8:50ish. Is usually about the times that I'm out for my med pass. So the way that it generally works, like I said, we have 8 different units. So we have to go out to each individual unit to pass the meds for that unit. And then as well, each unit has an A side and a B side. And each side of every unit has a little box that if kids need to see a nurse for any reason, they submit what is called a sick call slip. They write down whatever they need to see a nurse about. They put in the little box, and every med pass, when the nurse comes out for every single med pass, we check the boxes for sick call slips and we triage them as we're out in the units doing med pass. So that's kind of the 2 main jobs of med pass, is to pass the meds and to triage all the sick call slips that you get in your little nurse boxes. So like I said, there's 8 units and 2 sides to every unit, which means there's 16 boxes to check every med pass, as well as all the meds to just pass to the kids. So I just go in order from unit 1 to 8. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, go through them, pass my meds, triage the sick call slips. We have 24-hour nursing, but the providers only come in during the day on a couple days of the week to see the kids. So working in my facility as a nurse, you have a lot of autonomy, and we have what is called a set of professional nursing protocols that we go by in our facility. So for almost most situations that come up with these kids that you can think of, we have literally this huge book that you can look up all these conditions, right? And it will say, if they have this, then as the nurse, you can do this, this, and this. And we can just follow our professional nursing protocols and start orders as long as it's a if it's one of our nursing protocols, then we can start orders. And so there's a lot of orders as nurses that we start on our own because it's listed as something we can do, because we have to be able to make those decisions and make those calls without calling the provider for every single thing that happens with every single kid. So after a while, you kind of start to learn the more common protocols that come up a lot, which would be like, I get a lot of headache, obviously, like a lot of kids complaining of headaches, a lot of kids complaining about constipation, you know, those typical types of things. And so we're able to start them on ibuprofen or Tylenol based on our professional nursing protocols. We're able to start them on stool softeners based on our protocols. So as you're out triaging the sick call slips, you kind of just do whatever assessments you need to do in that moment and take notes on it, so that later when you go to chart, you can chart any information you need and go ahead and start those orders for the kids that need orders to be started. So that's a big kind of part of the night, is getting through MedPass and triaging all those sick call slips. MedPass is my favorite part of the night because this is where I get to go out and see all my kids every day and check in with them and see all the unit staff, which is what's the fun part to me. So MedPass is kind of like the fun part of the evening, and I like it because I just come in the first hour, I'm just prepping for MedPass. Next couple hours I'm out like doing MedPass, and then before you know it, 3-4 hours of the shift is already gone. Oh, and then I did also forget to mention, while I'm out doing the MedPass, of course, if there's any like random unit calls that come in, then I would respond to those as needed, you know, during MedPass as well. After MedPass, I then come back to the medical office area. Our medical unit is connected to like the booking area / intake area. So when kids get arrested and come in, they come in through booking, and then the medical unit and the medical office is kind of connected to that area. So that's where I spend the majority of the rest of the night. After I'm done in the back walking to all the units, I come back to the medical office / intake and booking area, and when I come back from MedPass, I'll check and see if there were any intakes that came in while I was out. We literally just have like a bin where all of the kids that need to be processed, their paperwork goes into there. So we just check the bin for any intakes. Every single kid that does come into the facility, the nurse does have to at least take their vitals. So if kids are going to be detained and staying in our facility, then we will go ahead and do like the full health intake. But if they are just going to be held in booking and then going to be released, they're not detained and not going to be staying in our facility then more than like a night or so, we really just kind of pull them into the office, do a set of vitals on them, check on them, make sure they're good, and that's kind of it. But regardless, every single kid that comes through the door, the nurse has to check on them in some form or the other. So once I come back from MedPass, I will process any intakes that have been waiting. And then at that point, I'll sit down and start doing like all my charting. Oh, also too, when I come back from MedPass, I'll just kind of go through my sick call slips. Like I keep track of my sick call slips as I'm out, and I'll just kind of keep a mental note. Like if there's any sick calls where I'm not going to be able to start an order on my own based on the professional nursing protocols that I have, I will then reach out to my provider before it gets too late, because I do work night shift. So I'll try to reach out to the provider before it gets too late and before they're sleeping already, to get the verbal orders for whatever orders I can't start on my own. So I'll go ahead and kind of go through those, and a lot of nights I won't even have anything I'll have to reach out to get orders for, but if I do happen to that day, I'll go ahead and do that before I process my intakes. Then I'll go do the intakes, and then once I'm done with intakes, I'll start doing all my charting. Charting is just kind of charting on the sick call slips, starting any orders, setting up any appointments for kids, as well as random things that happen. If we get any unit calls, we do have to chart on everything that happens, you know, just in general, like charting on nursing stuff that comes up throughout the night. Another big part of our job, because I do work in a kids facility and they are minors, any kid that's being detained with us, we do have to reach out to their parents to get consent to treat them medically if they end up needing any medical attention while they're with us. So that's another big part of processing the intakes, is making phone calls to parents to get verbal consent and just like confirming their allergy status and confirming whether or not they're on any prescription medications daily or not. Right after midnight, I have like daily like quality control checks I have to do. So I have to check the emergency bag every night and our AED and the oxygen tank. Got to check that. I have to do our glucometer control tests every night. We have 3 glucometers in our medical unit, so we run a control test on each one every night. As well as I have to check the medication and lab refrigerator temperatures every night and log that as well. We have a lab refrigerator where we keep all of our labs, and then we have medication refrigerator for medications that need to be refrigerated, like insulin and our vaccines and stuff. So then after midnight, I'll do like all of those quality control checks. I also have to then pull any of the kids for the following day who have to have their TB skin test read. I pull the list of all the kids the next day that need those read, so that I can hand that off to the daytime nurse, so they have the list of all the kids they need to read the skin test for, as well as I will pull the appointments. So I'll just make sure also that the appointments on the board is all up to date, so that the daytime nurses know what appointments they have going on during the day. So then most nights I eventually get to a point in time where I'm kind of just caught up on everything, and then I'm really just responding to things as they come up as needed. However, some nights I'm just super busy. There's like intakes coming in all night, and so I'm pretty much working until 6 o'clock. But a lot of nights I will get to a point where I'm kind of caught up, and then I kind of just get a little bit of free time to chill. And then obviously kids can get arrested any time of night. So as kids just get arrested and come in, I just continue to process any intakes that come in. On top of that, I also just respond to any unit calls. So if for any reason in any of the 8 units they need medical staff, they call me because I'm the only one there, and I just respond to any calls that I need to. A lot of the calls I get, honestly, I feel like the most common one is like asthma related. It would be kids complaining that they're short of breath and wanting to use their albuterol rescue inhaler. That's a pretty common one. Another, sometimes it's not super common, but one that's fairly common is responding to use of force calls. So because I do work in a jail, you know, sometimes it gets a little heated between kids and stuff. So if kids get into like a physical altercation with each other, unit staff end up pepper spraying them, and there's a code, our type of code that's called, and so then anytime a use of force would include a kid being pepper sprayed, or anytime a unit staff has to put their hands physically on a child for any reason, whether that be to just put their hands behind their back and walk them to their room, or whether that be they kind of like put their hands and physically push them backwards, or just anything. If staff have to put their hands on a child for any reason, or if a child is pepper sprayed, use of force in general is what we call those type of calls, and the nurse we have to respond to those as well. To basically, after every single use of force, we have to clear every patient that was involved in that incident, make sure, you know, like do a body sheet for them and make sure everybody is all good to go. That's the majority of my night. A couple other random things I can think of, like at night, every few weeks or so, I do go through our stock medications for the whole medical unit and just make sure we're all up to stock on everything. And every few weeks, you know, there will need to be new stuff ordered. So I'll go through and create an order list for our pharmacy of all the medications we need to update for our stock. Another part of my job that sometimes randomly comes up would be like mandated reporting for sexual assaults. So when our kids come in, if they are detained, we do a sexual assault screening on them. And if a child reports to us that either they sexually assaulted somebody else or they were sexually assaulted, if it has not yet been reported to the authorities, we are mandated reporters. So then we will do reports to the police department as well as Child Protective Services. Yeah, that's kind of the big main things, honestly, I can think of that encompasses my day-to-day job as a nurse working in a children's jail. My shift ends at 6 o'clock, so right around 6 o'clock, the daytime nurse will come in. I will do handoff, let her know what happened the night before, and then I just kind of clock out and head out of there for the day. So that's basically me walking you through a typical shift at my job in my facility, working as a nurse in a children's jail. I hope you learned something. I hope this was interesting to you. As the person actually working this job is very interesting to me, and so that's why I want to share it all with you guys. In my last week's video, I kind of just talked in general about how I got started in correctional nursing and what my experience has been as a correctional nurse so far. So definitely go back and check out that video if you haven't seen that one already. And if you have any questions at all, you guys, I would love to do like a deep dive Q&A video all about correctional nursing, as well as any other videos that you just topics within correctional nursing you want me to cover. Let me know, because I would love to provide that content for you guys. And I do already have a good handful of ideas of videos that I want to do just to kind of spread awareness about this area of nursing, because it's an area that I really am enjoying so far. I think we need a lot more great nurses to come into this area as well. So I just want to do my part in helping to share about how great of an area of nursing it really can be to work. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or you have stuff you want to see from me, please comment them down below and let me know so I can provide the content you want to see. And if you enjoyed this video, please help me out, give it a big thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe so you can come back and hang out with me some more. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope to see you again back very soon. Bye guys.